Good afternoon, guys. Mike here with Wilderness Warriors and Woodsman's Gear on YouTube. I've got a knife review for you. I've been anxiously awaiting this thing for a little over a month now, but I picked up a Ganzo knife from GearBest. Excellent price, terribly long shipping, but I guess when you get free shipping on cheap knives, it is worth it. This is the G727M GR. The GR is for green. Comes in pretty decent little box packaging. Got a little silica thing in there, a little tray that slides in. Comes with a little felt pouch for it, I guess if you're a collector or something, of $13 knives. Comes wrapped in bubble wrap. And this is the knife. It is 440 stainless steel, so there's nothing special about the steel. It's got a nice stainless steel belt clip. It is tip up carry only, but it is reversible from side to side. You have a lanyard hole in it. You have all stainless steel Torx screws on it to hold the scales on. It uses a lever locking system. I forget exactly what you call it, but it's like the Benchmade Griptilian type thing. I don't know what they call it. It's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm getting used to it more and more. It's not that it's that hard to get it to unlock, and I can visually see that this is a super strong lock just in the mechanics of how it locks the blade in. But I find that it's easier to get a grip with your hand like that on it. However, when that thing can come flying down because you've got to put so much force on it because it is a super strong spring, you tend to have a finger that might get in the way there, so you have to be careful about pulling all your fingers back and on it versus a liner lock that typically I'm just pushing it with my thumb and then just barely bumping the blade. I'll show you the differences here in a minute. The blade very much resembles the Ontario Rat 1 folder. I believe that this knife is pretty much a copy of it with the exception of the locking mechanism. It has G10 green scales on it, steel liners on both sides, unlike some of the others that use part of the frame as the frame lock or liner lock, however you want to call it. All in all, really nice. It actually came pretty sharp. It wasn't hair shaving sharp, but it certainly sliced through some wrapping paper very nicely and smoothly, and I was surprised because a lot of the knives that I've gotten here lately in the mail just have not been that sharp. And I haven't done anything to this knife at all other than slice some paper up with it so far. I do like kind of the rise up there as you go into the blade. It makes for a really good thumb ramp there. I kind of like that. Pretty smooth operation. It's a fairly hefty knife. Not the heaviest, but not the lightest either. It's not a Spyderco. The only thing that I don't like is that there is an awful lot of tension on the blade from that locking mechanism, just by how it rides against it the entire time. Now, it doesn't seem to change exactly how it flips out, but what I do know is this thing just, I mean, it moves pretty darn freely if you just hold that spring back. I mean, there's some tension on the pivot point, but very little. This thing is super free. Feels really good in the hand. It is a very solid feeling knife. When it clicks out and locks into place, I mean, it just feels really good. It does not feel like it's a $13 knife. And this thing was like $12.94, I believe, on GearBest shipped. So again, you just got to deal with that shipping. And what I have to compare it to in size is pretty much another copy of the Rat 1 folder, and that is the BRK 1301 Avispa by Blue Ridge Knife and Tool, made for Essie. Or no, actually it doesn't. Yeah, it does say Randall Adventure Training. It's got the Essie logo on it. But this is probably one of my favorite knives. I love this blade. I love the stone wash finish to it. I think it's that's a US 8. But this one, like I was saying, uses part of the frame. It only has one scale, and that scale has a liner, steel liner inside it that is tucked up in it. And I think this one is actually a little bit lighter. But what I love about this knife is that you can change the clip from tip up to tip down, and is ambidextrous on both sides as well, which I would love to have seen that feature on this one. But I am pretty sure that it's because of that locking mechanism there that that they didn't do that. If you had the clip on there, it would be really hard to get to the locking mechanism to unlock it. So let's go over some specs on this thing. We have a scale here. It is 126 grams, or 4 3/8 of an ounce. The blade, I believe, is right at 3.5 inches to the tip from the front edge of the frame. The handle itself, from end to end, is right at 4 3/4. Maybe just a hair under 3/4, but 4 3/4 to be safe. And all in all, I think this is going to be a great knife. I actually ordered it to be a work knife. I'm an electrician of sorts and do a lot of cutting and wire trimming and stuff like that with knives that you shouldn't be doing. And I usually just chew the blades up, and I'm constantly sharpening knives. But finding one that feels so good in your hands, essentially almost identical to my everyday carry, is a good benefit for me in something that I'm working with, because then it's something that's always familiar. It's just a matter on this one of getting used to that lock. This one's weight, 4 3/8 of an ounce and 125 grams, so they're pretty much neck and neck. This one is just like 1 or 2 grams heavier, but the big difference is that this is a $30 knife, and like I said, I love it. This is one of my favorite knives ever. Love this blade. And this is a $13 knife, and honestly, it sounds and feels more stable and just stable and secure when it clicks open. I mean, it is solid feeling and sounding. Definitely going up on my favorites list. I think the next folder that I'm going to be purchasing is going to be the Cold Steel Fenwolf, and try it. I'd like to get my hands on a folder with a Scandi grind knife blade. So there you have it, $13. And like I said, I'm going to be putting this thing through its paces over the next couple of weeks as a daily user work knife, and see how it holds up. 440 stainless, it's a decent steel. It's a hard steel, which I guess is good. Once I get a good edge on it, it should keep it pretty well. What I'm using now is a buck folder for work that used to be my everyday carry. It's a slight bit smaller than this. I want to say 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch shorter in the blade, but it's probably 3/8 of an inch shorter on the handle, and just does not feel anywhere close to as good and solid as this knife does. So there you go, Ganzo 727M. This one happens to be in green, but I believe they're available in black, red, a tan or mud color, and orange, safety orange, I believe. There are some price differences on some of the other colors that I found. I just happen to like the green and tan colored stuff, so that's what I picked it up in. I think I might pick me up one or two more and order at least one in the safety color and maybe one tan one. So there you go. Thanks for watching.